everyone. So I'm kind of going out on a limb here and sharing a little bit of my personal story in hopes that someone out there listening, it will benefit them and it can help them a little bit. So for those of you that don't know me very well, my name is Jana and I have 4 children. I have a 3-year-old, I have a 5-year-old, I have an 8-year-old, and a 23-year-old. This story really revolves a lot around my 23-year-old. I was 19 years old when he was born, so I was pretty young. I was really just a little girl, scared, terrified child, raising another child. I was a single mom, and I was in an abusive relationship. Somehow I had the strength to leave that abusive relationship, and I knew that I needed to put the needs of my son first, and I left that relationship and I moved to Minnesota. I was a single mom for 15 years, and that was absolutely the most difficult thing that I have ever had to do. So, any single mamas out there, I just want to say, keep on keeping on, and you keep making those hard decisions, and sometimes those decisions are going to revolve around you putting your child's needs first, and sometimes it's going to be putting your needs first, and you just need to do that. Side note, that is not what this video is about, but that's where I have a passion with that. So, but said this just really revolves around my son Oliver. So we were very close when he was growing up. It was just the two of us for so long, and I was young and I had so much energy, and we really connected. Very strong emotional bond. So when he became a teenager and he started to drift away, that was really, really hard for me. There was kind of a lot of stuff that was going on at that time. He entered high school and I started dating. I had not dated in 15 years at all. I did not. I felt very strongly that I did not want to have men coming in and out of our house and him building relationships with them and then that leaving. I just was very, very picky about the men that I let in my life. I needed to find the right guy before I was going to start dating, and I found him, dated him for 6 months, and married him 6 months later. And so that, I think, really contributed to some of the rebellion that was going on in my son's life, having that father figure step in. My husband and I got married. We had our first child soon after, 9 months or 10 months later. And shortly after that, my son Oliver asked if he could go to New Mexico and live with his dad. And he had been wanting and asking that for years, and I had always said, no, it wasn't a good situation, it's not going to happen. But in this case, I said, you know what, you need to go. You need to experience this yourself and see what it's like. So I let him go. And then his 18th birthday was coming up. I went down there to go see him for his birthday, because never spent a birthday without him, and that wasn't going to start that. So when I went to go pick him up, I noticed right away that there was something off. Something was not right. And long story short, on my son's 18th birthday, he was committed to a hospital, and he was diagnosed with a mental illness that I look back at now and I see that he was showing signs of it in his earlier years, but I just didn't know it. I didn't recognize them. I thought they were typical teenage symptoms. So fast forward a couple of years, and in and out of hospitals, and there were a lot of heavy drugs involved. There are a lot of heavy drugs involved. I just wasn't happy. I wasn't content with, the care that he was receiving, and I felt there has to be something more, a little something more, especially to help him in social situations. He just felt a lot of angst going into social situations, and my mama heart just broke and was just crying out that there was nothing that I could do. And first of all, because my dreams and my desires to see him living a healthy, a vibrant, and a happy life were just kind of shattered. And, I had to grieve that and let that go and know that that's just not going to be, unless a miracle, unless he receives full healing for what he has going on. But so, he has an uphill climb. He definitely has an uphill climb in his life. But so I started to do some research, and I had been hearing a lot about essential oils, stumbled on them, and I thought, don't think that these are going to hurt him. I don't think they're going to hurt, and they just might help a little bit. And if there's anything that I can do to help, it's totally worth a try. So I did a little research. I landed on Young Living. I bought their premium starter kit, and I can tell you that this is absolutely the best purchase that I have ever made. Yeah, it doesn't compare to a car, a house. This is the best purchase that I have ever made. $160 rocked my world. So I was wanting oils to help support Oliver and his emotions, and then among other things, right? I had 2 small children at this time, and I knew that I wanted to incorporate a more natural lifestyle with my family. And I thought, I'm just gonna start here. This seems easy enough to start with this kit. And I'm amazed at how it opened my eyes to all of the unnatural that was all around me and all of the harm that the unnatural was doing to my family. And, with all of that said, this little bottle of oil right here, this is Valor. I love this oil, Valor, and it just brings me to tears. I get very emotional about this oil because it offered emotional support to my son in a way that I just couldn't as a mom. When I'm not with him and he's in a social situation and he's feeling overwhelmed and really uncomfortable, he can take this bottle. He can rub it on his chest. He can do it behind his ears, take a big breath of it, and he can find some relief. Any little relief that my son can find, any little bit of normalcy that he can find, it is absolutely worth it. And I remember the first time that I got a text from him, I had given this to him and I said, just try it, And I got a text from him and he said, Mom, I can't believe how fast it worked. And I just started crying. And every time I think about it, it just brings me to tears because of the relief that he found from this. And, this is a constant battle, and this is something that he's going to battle for his whole life. And I'm so thankful that, like I said, this little bottle is able to provide him even just a little bit of peace and comfort and normalcy. Now, to be honest, he's 23 years old. He doesn't use it nearly as much as he should. He's quite forgetful and not very organized, but he knows that it's there. And he knows that it can help him if he really needs it. And so that's one of the reasons that I'm so passionate about sharing about essential oils with others, because not just for what it does for my son, but what it does for every single person in my family, again and again and again. Someone wakes up in the middle of the night, I can open up my toolbox and I have something at my fingertips to help my children get a more restful night's sleep multiple times in different scenarios. It has happened again and again. So I just wanted to offer that there's support out there. There are options, other options than what we've been told. So just be your own advocate. Do your own research, see what options there are, and know that you don't have to just settle for what's always been done and what you've always been told. And I am happy, more than happy, to walk this journey with you. So thanks for listening.